Could you name the top three safest ways to travel?
The top three safest ways to travel.
Yeah, without cheating.
Um,
'Cause I see you
without you.
looking.
Well, yeah,
I
I'm
see
not
you
gonna.
looking, nigga.
No, I was actually trying to exit out of
I
the
see,
web
look
page.
at you look.
Actually.
Yeah, I got you. Google quick, real
Okay.
quick.
All right. I already had the three in my head. I was gonna say, obviously, air travel. Um, I would say travel by train, and I would say sea travel.
And sea travel?
Mhm.
Um, okay. It's interesting you say sea travel. Travel by boat is actually up there on the list. The answer is the second one might surprise you. Is plane number one,
Mm-hmm.
bus number two.
Bus. What? You ever been? You ever been on a? You ever been on a bus in New York? You ever been on a bus in Baltimore? A Negro, what?
This is why I
Safe.
love. This is why we don't. This is why we don't prepare the show together because that man hit you by surprise.
Emotional,
That was
damn it.
What?
that was genuine.
Bus. Go out of control. Y'all ain't, that
No,
tells me y'all ain't never catch a bus before.
for real. No, for
You never
real.
had a bus trip before.
The statistics, dog. The statistics. It's like okay. So here. So
Absolutely
this
not.
is this is this is what we call fun with statistics because
Mm.
Darwin.
What are you doing here?
It's challenge day.
Welcome back, Knuckleheads. It's Challenge Day, Season 5, Episode 9.
Happy
Um,
Challenge Day.
yeah, happy Challenge Day. Happy New Year to everybody, too, because the last time you guys heard
Hmm.
from us was before the new year. So happy New Year to everybody. Hope you had a safe New Year, and I hope that all the folks that, tuned in or checking us out are still doing well, because we know that sometimes people don't. Anyways, but we just we just hope
The
that you guys.
holidays can be like rough on podcasts, bro. I know I'd be checking
Yeah,
out some of these podcasts and be like, especially a lot of them be doing like year end review or the best of from this year. I'd be
yeah, yeah.
like, nah, I already heard that episode, bro. I'm not going back for that joint. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So we hope all y'all are all you folks are safe and everything, and that you start off your new year with all your New Year resolutions that you're probably gonna quit in about a week or so. There's
One more
actually
week,
called
about
a
one more week.
yeah, about 1 week. What is it called? A quitters week or something? I think I heard of a concept called quitters.
National quit day or week. It might be
Yeah,
like National Quit Day. I think it is.
yeah, something like that. So
And
hopefully
bro,
you
I
guys
would
can
have
make it through
not
that.
thought it would have been that soon into the New Year's. Like y'all only got 3 weeks in y'all
Yeah, 3 weeks is kind of crazy.
for a whole resolution, bro.
Three weeks is kind of
Dog, I don't
crazy.
want to make. I don't want to make a deal. Shake hand deal with none of these fools, man.
For
Your
real.
word is only good for 3 weeks, but
That's crazy. How you renege that early? That's crazy.
that
That's like reneging
early
on the second book. That's
for real,
wild.
bro. Like, wait a minute. I thought you said you had six in the
Yeah,
possible.
right. That's kind of crazy. Low key. But anyways, Jeff not Jeffrey as Darren Darko. Again, this is add another challenge day, y'all. That's the social handle you'll be able to find us on every social media platform that you like to frequent. Again, that's at another challenge day. Let's jump right into the show and waste no time. Mass count, bro. Do you got anything specific you got for me?
Well, last time we recorded was last year,
Yeah.
2024. So the numbers restart on the first of the year.
Hmm.
So it actually ended at 503. So we
That's
mentioned this
actually
before.
better than the previous year, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is the lowest it's been since 2019.
Yeah. Yeah.
So but 2025 started off wilding already,
Mm.
right?
Yeah,
There
that's
was
true.
the event that happened in New Orleans for New Year's Eve. Now that wasn't a mass shooting, but there was a mass casualty event because the dude used a vehicle
Mm.
to run through
Crowd of
I think
people.
Bourbon Street. Was it
Yeah.
Bourbon Street? I think it might be Bourbon Street and in New Orleans and killed a bunch of people. And then some other dude blew up a Tesla truck in front of a Trump hotel, I think in Vegas.
Hmm.
Um, but those aren't considered mass shootings. The guy did have a gun to one in New Orleans, but the police shot him before he got anything off. But 2025 is starting off so today is the 12th day of the year, and we have seven mass shootings already. There's a couple years, I think last year or the year before, where we had more mass shootings than there were days in the calendar already. So we were like, but I think they got that number when we was like January 20th, and there was already like 23 mass shootings or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we're running behind. So hopefully we could keep the trend from last year and get these numbers lower and lower and lower, and maybe we could beat the numbers from last year with 503. You can have less mass shootings this year.
Yep, something to
But
look forward
but
to.
there was something that popped off on January 11th.
Mm-hmm.
This was um this was a shooting that happened, and unfortunately, this actually happened in Louisiana again. Another incident in Louisiana. This is a social media promoted event. It was called the and promoted by this guy. I think hashtag Big Blessed is what the byline of the title of the party was. It's like an
Mm-hmm.
outside bonfire kind of thing. If you're from the country, that's kind of like some parties you throw would be bonfires,
Mm-hmm.
right? We did that joint when I used to live in Gainesville. Um,
Yeah.
it was an unpermitted event in on private property. There were how many people died on this joint? Oh yeah, seven people died. Seven people died, and
Okay.
no one has been arrested. Coincidentally enough, the representative is Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. Mike Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
This is his district.
Yeah.
And that guy is special. So I don't really know
He is an
what y'all gonna
interesting
be able to
character.
do
Mm-hmm.
to get this zealot. He's a one of these Trump zealots, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And he's a religious zealot too, but like his religion is like funny business kind of thing. He don't really have like a heart. Like what is like he doesn't have a heart. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the Christianity is supposed to be also you're supposed to have heart, right? You're supposed to
Yeah.
care about your fellow man, whatnot.
Yeah. He's
And yeah, he's
he's
just
an
one of
extremist
these
in that regard as
extremists
far
and all
as
that stuff.
yeah. I get it.
Yeah, so well, shout out, give him a call. Call Mike Johnson if you want to, and
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, and ask him what he's doing to help keep your community safe. But like this looks like it was a black event, so he's probably just gonna over police it and just not give the resource that he actually needed. They're probably having this bonfire because they don't have any facilities over there they could actually use. Who knows? But bonfires are still a fun party kind of thing too. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, I don't know. I could just speculate. But yeah, that's Mike Johnson right there, and that's the mass count. We'll jump into our stories. Jeff, what do you got? First thing up here is South Korea issues arrest warrant. What's
Yeah.
the update on in South Korea?
Yeah, there was initially an arrest warrant out for him, but it expired. I think apparently, like in South Korea, there's like
Mhm.
I think it like some say it's like 7 days, and other folks say it's like 14 days as far as the timeline for the arrest warrant. But it expired, so they issued another one. The South Korean court. It looks like what it was Tuesday, last week Tuesday, that they issued it. I think it was based on what I'm seeing here.
I have
On
the
just
this is the latest update from Reuters.
mhm,
The Seoul Western District Court has extended the arrest warrant for impeached President Yoon Suk Yeol,
mhm.
who is under investigation for declaring martial law on this was back in December 3rd.
Yeah.
The initial efforts by the Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials to detain
Mhm.
Yoon at his presidential residence were thwarted by his security detail. Remember we talked about maybe the Secret Service being under the executive branch kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yo, his Secret Service was like not letting them arrest this fool. So
Yeah.
they must be directly under him.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Apparently so. He was also, there has. I'm not sure if there's been enough talk about this, but apparently he's also being accused of leading an insurrection. Is that a part of that's the same issue? Or is that like a separate
Well,
charge?
I think it's my the insurrection thing. I heard something similar to this because there's a lot of similarities where but he won. This is the thing.
Yeah, yeah. He
So
ended up
so a lot
winning. Yeah.
but this is the thing. Is like he kind of piggybacked off of Trump's like verbiage from here about the with this whole thing
Okay.
to where he was using the same dialogue like bro, but you won, so why are you still saying? 'Cause remember I was saying he had like conspiracy theories about like the North Koreans infiltrating the political system over there
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and like
Mm-hmm.
and like we're influencing the election
Mm-hmm.
over there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, kind of like giving insurrection talk, right? Like the election wasn't run fairly and all that kind of stuff. But dude, you won.
Yeah.
But you want so like give up the ghost, give up the whole conspiracy thing.
Mm,
I don't know what the deal is, but that's what I heard about that.
okay.
The Constitutional Court is currently deliberating on whether to formally remove him from office or
Mm-hmm.
reinstate his presidential authorities. What the what?
That is like on the opposite
Remove
side of the
him?
spectrum. That's weird. It's like, yes, that's like what? I don't understand this. That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I mean, he was the National Assembly voted to impeach him on December 14th. So like
Yeah.
what's the question? Like he was voted if this is in your constitution, these procedures, let's say it's not even justified, whether or not it's justified. The votes there, the votes said get him out, he's out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's
Yeah.
weird. But that's the update over in South Korea.
Mhm.
Do you have anything on our next story here, Gisèle Pelicot? This is a story from France.
Yeah, so this is an interesting story. Apparently, there's women rights activists and just the whole women's right movement in France has been gaining a lot of steam. This has actually been a story that's been kind of central to that, right? You have Gisèle Pelicot, who's now, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Gisèle Pelicot.
Yeah,
Sorry
I
if I'm
think
not
it is
pronouncing it's
Yeah, I
she
gonna get
she
what I
said
get, bro.
yeah, yeah, it is what it is. C72, but she had like it's kind of a wild story. 46 men were found guilty of the RAPE action, right? Her
Raping.
husband, her ex-husband being one of them, which is kind of crazy. And it's there's a lot that I actually wanted to kind of mention here because I don't know what you were gonna mention with the Darwin, but like
Well, let me give the general story here. So, reading from France24.com, Gisèle Pelicot, a 72-year-old French woman, faced her ex-husband and 50 men in a public trial for orchestrating her drugging and rape
Yeah.
over nearly a decade. The
Yeah.
trial highlighted the use of drugs to commit the sexual abuse. Waiving her anonymity, she agreed. She demanded actually that the trial be public to raise awareness about abuse and advocate for victims to reject shame, inspiring protests and support across France. So that's the general background of what's going on there and how that happened. Freaking 50 dudes. And
Yeah.
the husband orchestrated this joke.
And yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. The interesting thing about, well, as far as like conviction, the offenders range from 26 to 74. The age 26 to 74.
So in this past decade, so like she was like 60 plus.
Yeah. It said over 13 years. So from 3 to 13 years. Yeah. Well, sorry, no, that's incorrect. It was over a decade place, like Darwin said. But what I'm actually trying to mention here is that the range of like the convictions that were handed out to the offenders, it ranges from 3 to 13 years. With all the men. But the one person that got more than that was her husband because he got 20. so it's kind of collectively altogether, with all of it being handed down, 400 years. That's what was issued with all of them. So it's kind of interesting. You know, it's kind of an interesting story in it. Well, first of all, it's grotesque, obviously, but it's
wild. Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting. I wasn't personally aware of this being like one of those underlying issues, like, you know, when you go to a country you don't really know.
Oh,
like
for France?
For France, yeah. I wasn't
Dog,
like
Pepe
I
Le
wasn't.
Pew, dog. They told you since Pepe Le Pew, dog.
No, I thought they were just getting down like that,
dude
but I didn't know it was.
aggressive.
Bro, I didn't know it was like that.
Go back and watch some of this Pepe Le Pew joint.
No, Pepe Le Pew was, yeah, he was that he gave
Like, we
pressure.
thought it was
I ain't gonna lie.
funny and all that stuff, but like, yo, he had
Yeah.
putting pressure.
I wasn't.
in the day.
I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't here.
But that's
bro. I
because
wasn't here.
that's because that's like a known thing, like in terms of being like this even call it, I think it's the language of love and all that
Yeah,
kind of
language
stuff. So
of
like,
love, yeah.
so these and that's like, are you the statistic? You know, are you the stereotype or not? You know what I mean? Or are you leaning into the stereotype, or is like people making stuff up about you? Because like forever I've known part of the identity of what it is to be French is to be like this for men in that culture to be hyper aggressive sexually.
Okay.
And to the point where it became like a little cartoon of it. And they lean into it in their society. They lean into that.
I would argue the literature also promotes that as well. A lot of literature promote a lot of that type of behavior. But a lot of women be on that type of time when they be listening. As far as like fantasizing about that stuff, they may not want it. Like in
they
reality.
do want that French guy,
but they,
like,
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like they
role
want
play,
that.
like,
They want that. Like because they
well,
love
they
those
say
type
they
of,
do. They say they do, but like they don't
Well,
want
yeah,
this
that's true.
part. They don't want this part too. Like,
Yeah, well, yeah,
people,
yeah.
like,
Not this part where
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you being like
they want
a
what they
caveman.
want is the Romeo whispering sweet nothings,
Yeah,
like, in
yeah.
French in my ear. They want that romantic
yeah.
talk kind of thing. They're
Yeah.
not trying to be like a victim of like
Oh,
you know that
well, absolutely
that
not.
cat. Well, no, I'm not even going there with it. I was talking like that
Yeah.
cat in the cartoon, who had a stripe drawn on his back because the paint fell.
Yeah, because
And now this skunk is like
it's thinking that he's yeah,
it's like trying to get at her, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Just like
That's a fair
nonstop
point.
kind
That's
of
a fair
joint, you
point.
know what I mean? So they don't want that aggressive kind of nature. They just kind of want the romanticized version. That's what it is. They actually want the romanticized version of a French, quote unquote, French lover.
Yeah.
But either way, Pellicot's divorced her husband, reclaimed her maiden name, and has been outspoken about her determination to challenge a patriarchal society attitude towards sexual violence. You can read up more of that again on France24.com. Jeff, did you see that Jimmy Carter passed away while we were gone?
Yeah, it's something. It's something that I probably wouldn't be like that vested in, only but because I am in the DMV area where politics is is in the air all the time, 100%.
Yeah, when you sitting in traffic because these damn escorts, freaking
Yeah,
services is flying
yeah,
by, you got to sit there. You late for something already.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
you.
so the government took a day off on that Thursday when they had their
Mhm.
funeral. And yeah, so I knew in my head, like 100%, I was like, yeah, I would like it doesn't even make sense for anybody to even try to travel in DC right now because you won't
Don't
be
do
able
it.
to do anything. Even like surrounding areas, even like the Nova surrounding areas and all that stuff, like you still gonna be
Bro, you about to have
crazy.
all the presidents and the president's
Yeah,
men
all of them, yeah.
at the one spot, bro. That shit gonna be on lockdown.
Yeah,
The whole spot.
that mug was like angel has fallen, man, but no angel but
No, yeah, just like angels is all in one spot.
it's all
Are
in
we
one
sure we
spot.
want to do this?
Yeah. So
Oh
everybody
no, but this is one of the those type of events where you have like a designated survivor.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Hmm.
true. That's true. If y'all peep that Easter egg that Donald just dropped right there, let us know in the comments. But anyways, yeah. So Jimmy Carter, he's also regarded as a president that was more likable than not.
Hmm.
He interesting fun fact. He's the first president he was the first president to reach 100 years old. So we haven't had a president ever reach 100 years old. That's kind of cool actually. It,
1924.
yeah, 1924. Yeah, 1924.
That boy seen a big that he's seen like a lot of versions of America.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a very
Versions
good
of
point.
America. Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say is something significant that he did that he like his presidency is remembered for? Because
So
I've never been
he
that abreast on him. I just knew that he was a likable guy, but I'm not too privy
So a
on
little, a
like.
little bit about his background first, and I'm gonna answer that. Okay, so 1924, he was born in Plains, Georgia. He was the 39th president of the United States.
Mhm.
Carter grew up in a modest farming family. He served in the U.S. Navy before returning to Georgia to run the family peanut farm. Uh, in his
Peanut
political
farm.
career,
Hmm.
Carter was elected to be governor of Georgia in 1970, where he focused on civil rights and government reform. His
Hmm.
tenure earned him national recognition. At that point, then he became president 7 years later. He was president from 1977, 1981. He's one of these presidents that, only served one term. Carter's presidency is marked by efforts to promote human rights, energy conservation, and diplomacy.
Hmm.
One of his most significant achievements, since you asked, was brokering the Camp David Accords in 1987,
Ah.
1978. You
Okay.
you hear about the Camp David Accords all the
Mm.
time in
Mm.
freaking newscasts. They always bring this thing up, and it
Mm.
was for the record, it was is under his presidency, and
Mm.
in the Camp David Accords in 1978 it led to peace between Egypt and Israel.
Yeah.
So this is why a lot of times that would come up is because of what's going on in Gaza now, what's going
Mm.
on with Lebanon now,
With Syria.
and Syria. So
Mm.
Israel and that whole general area, you know, they'll always say something like, "Oh, we may need another Camp David's kind of accord to get this war or that conflict to end." And
Mm.
so that's the reference. So
Mhm.
that's what you tune into Challenge Day for to get to get some nuggets and some lessons learned.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
His presidency faced economic difficulties, including inflation and energy crisis, as well as the Iran hostage crisis. That's another one, where
Uh-huh.
there was
I remember
44
that.
days, 444 days over a year that 52 Americans were held captive,
Hmm.
and part of that deal. I don't know how much of this is confirmed, but it's kind of like apparently some people there's speculation that Reagan was on the phone with Iran or whoever Iran was, be like, "Yo, hold them off, don't release the hostages until I become president," kind of thing. You know what I mean? And then there was some kind of back
Okay.
channel deal there. which
Interesting.
has some interesting highlights to what's going on today with Trump acting like that he's the president already, but he's not the president yet. You know what I mean? But he's like having conversations with kinds of different dignitaries and stuff like that. So that's what that was. Um, any other questions about Jimmy Carter? I mean, it's unfortunate he died, but like he saw a lot. You know, he didn't get to make it to the New Year's though. He got to see Christmas. He got to vote for Kamala. We read that at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else you found out about him?
No, I mean that's about some of the stuff I was going to mention that I was able to kind of dig up on him. But yeah, I think that's pretty straightforward.
What most people may be talking about is some social media stuff that's been popping off is the actual funeral and the people that were there. So there was one point where
Of course.
Obama was talking to Trump and Obama was giggling and laughing and stuff like that. And there was another thing about like Kamala sitting in front of them and seeing this, and she's like, "What y'all talking about? Y'all talking about me?" You know what I mean? Kind of like so everybody's reading body language and stuff. Social media is going off
It's
on
always
that
funny.
joint,
That
and
stuff
like,
is always funny.
but Obama sitting right next to Trump, and
Yeah.
they kikiing it. They kikiing it.
Yeah.
And so this is what I was saying last time. Like, I hope nobody out there after this election really taught me that. Like, you may have family members out there. People didn't go to Thanksgiving dinner. People didn't go to Christmases to family members. They excommunicated.
Yeah.
They deleted and wiped people out of their lives that happen to vote for the other side. Meanwhile, these dudes are sitting next to each other, laughing it
chilling.
up.
Ain't even tripping.
A whole threat to democracy.
Yeah.
America will cease to exist. But they just chilling next to each other. So they can move on and live and be like, yo, this is just a sporting event that we do. But the rest of us are destroying our lives, destroying our relationships.
Yeah.
This is another example. Just like, yo, I'm not downing them for that because I know that's the game. And now I know I peeped it. He's like, okay, you know what? Oh, they be like, they don't really feel that kind of. I can't feel more than they do. That's my bar. It's like I see how you feel about it. Like if you can and dap up Trump, y'all having secret kicking jokes and stuff like that about him, like, and that's the level that you're able to. Bro, I'm thinking if it was me, it's on site. you know what I'm saying?
You holding the whole grudge, but that's crazy, bro.
It's on site.
Yeah, let that bit go, man.
That's what I would think. Cause I'm looking at him like, yo, I would think it's on site. This dude called my mama all this, my wife all that. You know what I mean? When he talked about freaking Ted Cruz and what he said about his wife and stuff like that, like all this kind of stuff. Like, yo, keep that same energy. They don't be keeping that same energy. So like, y'all need to like really repair some of that relationships in your own life because y'all was putting it on their lapels and whatnot, and we just some suckers to that bullshit. So like, it ain't worth it.
Yeah, it's not.
That's all I'll say. But also Biden was caught falling asleep at this joint. Jill had to like nudge him.
What else is new?
You're doing a job.
You know what else is new? Apparently Meta is ending fact checking, which is like there's a few viewpoints here, right? I think we already was kind of like, okay, let me say this. Am I surprised? Not really. I'm not really surprised. At the same time, it's kind of like, why? What's the motivation behind that? I mean, there are different kind of reasons. Like Mark Zuckerberg himself said that a lot of the facts that were even being purported on some of these social media sites, especially even like on Facebook and Instagram, were politically driven and not necessarily fact driven. But his I think his overall position though is that it allows for more community driven thought to flood these platforms.
Okay.
But I was like,
how about that?
Yeah, I'm like, that's a slippery slope to say the least. You feel me?
Let's see what AP News has to say about it formally. We'll read up. They have a little write up here. No more fact checking for Meta. How will this change media and the pursuit of truth? Everyone is entitled to his own opinion, but not his own facts. The late New York Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan memorably wrote this 4 decades ago. That seems like a simpler time, especially when you consider Meta's decision to end a fact-checking program on social media apps, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. Nobody's even on Threads, so I don't even know why they bother mentioning that joint. And what the ramifications might be for an industry built to bring clarity and to seek truth itself. Meta founder Mark Zuckerberg's announcement this week was widely seen in news verification circles as a genuflection to President-elect Donald Trump, whose first term in office popularized the phrase alternative facts. You ask why? They answered. And I think that's what it is. I am inclined to believe them that, yo, Trump is about to come back. You know what I mean? Like they took him off of Facebook completely. At least Twitter. No, he was banned. That's what it was. It was banned off
Yeah, he was
Facebook.
banned. Yeah, he was banned. Yeah.
Twitter, they deleted his account or not,
Mm-hmm.
but like he wasn't banned.
Mm-hmm.
He was banned off Facebook to the point where now they're even changing their whole setup as he comes back into office.
Mm.
That's where the whole alternative facts
It's a oxymoronic phrase.
in and of itself.
In itself, yeah. That's
You're
yeah.
talking about community notes, and so the reason they're doing it like that because they got the and they I think they said it later on is that they got that idea off of how they do it on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
If you are trying to copy Twitter on something, you hustling backwards.
Yeah, Twitter is, bro.
Twitter is a cesspool.
That is not a model you want to follow at all.
That's the one. That's the freaking template you trying to follow.
I'm not on Twitter at all. I don't use Twitter at all because I know how bad it is. I've been got off of Twitter years ago. I already seen it. It's Twitter
I
is
used to
horrible.
like Twitter. I was one of the OGs of Twitter when it first started. It had some really good aspirational efforts, and it helped fuel revolutions, right? It did. It just that was people, the revolutionaries need to communicate. That was the way it helped them get there. But it and it started going bad even before Elon bought it out. But
Yeah,
when
yeah,
he
yeah.
bought
Way
it,
before he bought it out. Yeah.
but when he bought it, bro, that joint went sideways, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But um the announcement from Zuckerberg has notably brought a lot of criticism, to say the least. A lot of people think like this is gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad because he's basically gonna turn Facebook into Twitter, and the way that Twitter has increased in white supremacist content, homophobic, transphobic it's like content, like violent content. Facebook is just gonna end up becoming more and more that. So that's unfortunate, but I've been off of Facebook anyways myself. So
Yeah, I don't want to be on Facebook like
yeah,
that.
bump that. Last up, we have we're gonna jump into a little bit of sports talk here. No, actually, my bad. We're gonna talk about
Yeah, something the IRS is doing.
yeah, the
Actually.
IRS. We want to give y'all a heads up that some of y'all might be due $1,400
Up to
from the
14.
IRS.
Up to
Up to
1400.
$1,400.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see this out of CBS News?
I saw it. I saw a random headline some time ago about this, and I was like, this can't be real. And then I actually went to the IRS site and I saw that they were like, yeah, they're basically giving out stimmies again. So they're basically not stimmies again, but it's more so for people who haven't claimed their what is it? It's like a recovery tax rebate. So from 2021. So it's actually, I mean, honestly, man, it's kind. I think it's actually low key kind of clutch for some folks that probably need that bread.
Yeah, but that
you know
bit
what
finna
I'm
come in
saying?
and everybody gonna think Trump sent them another semi.
Yeah,
semi.
that's true.
He gonna get credit for it again.
That's true.
Like,
You're gonna
credit for
get
just like,
that. That's true.
this dude here.
The timing is kind of crazy though. Like
Freaking
it's like
crazy.
it's
Thank you, IRS.
Trump
Biden
is
is looking like, thank you, IRS.
yeah.
So
So
actually, what I was reading from was CBSNews.com. The IRS is distributing special payments up to $1,400 to approximately 1 million taxpayers who missed claiming the 2021 recovery rebate credit.
yeah.
It's going to be an automatic payment. Eligible taxpayers will receive these payments automatically. They don't have to do anything on their part. The payments may vary between individual circumstances with a maximum of being $1,400
Yeah.
per person.
Yeah, and just so folks can know that it's like Darwin said, it's automatically gonna be dispersed through direct deposit. If you don't have a direct deposit, that works. Obviously, they'll send it to your your home address. That's registered with USPS and all that stuff. So folks should be able to look into that. And even if there's some kind of issue with that, and you're a person who thinks that you missed out on that, you probably could have just maybe send IRS email or something like that, and just to kind of get some more information on it. I'm sure they have some links and stuff everywhere that you can probably check out. But yeah,
And do not fall for the trick of a text message that says, "Hey, this is the IRS. we owe you some money. Click this link to
Yeah.
claim your $1,400. Don't do
Absolutely
that.
not. That
The
is called
IRS will
phishing.
never call you. They will never
They would never do
text
that.
you.
They would
They're
never
going to
do
send
that.
us freaking letter to your house and ask you to reach
Yeah.
out to them, or they're going to send you straight check.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah.
Don't click those links.
Don't ever click those links at all. It's a phishing attempt. Don't ever click those links.
And if you haven't filed your taxes yet for 2021, you still can't do it. I don't know what y'all on.
Oh yeah, yeah, because it's like you have like a 3-year period.
Yeah, so you have until this year.
That's kind of crazy.
April 2025. Like that's wild. You still
that's kind of
file
what
no
I
taxes.
That's kind of crazy.
So if you didn't file, you definitely didn't get your check yet.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's that's some good news. Some good news there. This team's for sale for
yeah, man. It's getting more and more just capitalism meets sports.
Bro, N.I.L changed the game, bitch.
Changed the game.
Changed the game.
College sports are, we should just call it amateur, just the amateur leagues.
But it's never
professional
been
amateur leagues.
Okay, so that's interesting, right? Because college they've always called it amateur sports, but it's never been that, bro. Like it's never really been that.
Like, because here's the thing, amateurs actually get paid.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
And so like when you look at like MLB, for example, right? When they go to like the minors,
the minor leagues,
the minors. Yeah, they get paid for the minor. Yep. It's hardly anything. They might get room and board. Some of them, if you're you're not good enough, but like they get something for it. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. So I saw a couple of like capitalism is like merging closer and closer to it. So Howard's men's basketball coach Kenny Blakeney is offering, I think that's it, Blakeney. I think it's Blakeney.
Blakeney, yeah,
is offering 1/3 of the program for sale at $100 million. So the idea stems from his desire to compete in a business-driven college sports environment.
He knows what it is.
This is what's happening. NIL. He plans to pitch the opportunity to private equity groups using the funds to improve facilities and make the team independent from the MEAC. He aims for revenue sharing model between the schools, investors, and programs.
You know what? I'm actually kind of feeling it a little bit because
if you ain't getting money nowhere else,
yeah, it's like might as well just try to pitch this idea to potential investors. Because you know what's interesting about that? Because Notre Dame University, which we're going to talk about later, Notre Dame is independent. They're not in any conference or anything like that. But Notre Dame being like a highly
but they got that legacy.
School, they have legacy, they have history, so it's a lot of things there. But Howard is a legacy school too. It's a legacy HBCU as well. So like, I mean, there's something that he could probably swing there if they have good pitches to like potential investors. They might be able to attract some, because the alumni support is not as good as it should be, which is crazy because Howard has a lot of famous people. So it's so wild how the alumni support at Howard University is not as great as you would think that it would be. But I think this is something that I think it's a good idea. I think they definitely should give it a shot. So coupled
with this story though, I came across this other story about these middle school that changed. Okay, so this is from Musketeer Report.
Oh, this is interesting actually.
Right, middle school changes its mascot from Bearcats to Musketeers to start Crosstown Shootout Week. So there was this middle school. I'm just gonna read. Cheatham Middle School announced Monday that it will adopt the Musketeers as its new mascot, resolving a trademark dispute with the University of Cincinnati. The decision comes during the week of the annual Crosstown Shootout. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. The controversy began in October when the University of Cincinnati issued a cease and desist letter to the middle school in Tennessee.
So the middle school is so crazy.
Claiming its use of the Bearcats name and a paw logo infringed on the university's trademarks. Despite the middle school's offer to redesign the logo, which while retaining the Bearcats name, the university rejected the proposal.
They weren't having it at all,
citing exclusive rights to both the name and the branding elements. Amid the legal dispute, Synergistic, a Cincinnati-based marketing agency led by Xavier alumnus Anthony Breen, stepped in with a creative solution. The agency offered to cover the cost of rebranding the Cheatham Middle School if the school adopted the Musketeers as its new mascot, aligning with Xavier University's branding.
Which is the mascot of Xavier University.
Xavier.
Yeah.
Why not, dog? Like that's like so genius to me that like, you're gonna create an affinity for this college since middle school. You just saved them. Dog, you know how much money it costs to rebrand a whole freaking school?
Yeah. It's
in
actually
Cincinnati.
smart,
What were
okay.
you thinking? Like,
And,
yo,
that, and
you
that,
should
that's
be
what
you should be
that's what I was
happy.
thinking. That's what I was thinking. I was like, Cincinnati, y'all just leave that. Why don't y'all just leave that school, that middle
Tweaking.
school alone, man?
A middle school
Random middle school in Tennessee, bro. Come on, man, leave that
idiot
school alone, bro. Yeah,
in
I don't know what
Tennessee.
that's all about. In
Like not
Tennessee,
even.
bro. Like
It's not even in the. So here's the thing:
they're not
is
bothering
that the
nobody.
Crosstown Shootout, which I spoke about earlier, is an annual men's college basketball game between
Cincinnati and
Xavier
Xavier.
and Xavier.
Yeah,
The two
they have
schools are
same city.
about 3 miles apart. They're all in. They're
Literally.
both Cincinnati, making the
Literally. Yeah.
rivalry the closest major rivalry in the country.
Hmm.
3 miles apart, the school, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
guess, would that be close to FIU and University of Miami? But like, there's not really
Yeah,
a
yeah,
rivalry
it will be
though.
close. Yeah, it's not really a rivalry there, yeah.
It's not
But it
really a
still will be
rivalry.
closer though. Still be close
Yeah,
because UM is still
I think
like
it's
an
more than
hour
three
away from
miles.
FIU.
No, hell no, from FIU, no.
It's not,
It's
isn't
a,
it like
no, it's like 30 minutes max.
it
We
felt
used
like
to
it was
go there. We used to go there for parties
yeah, I know it's oh, you know what?
from
I'm thinking
FIU.
about maybe because of the traffic. In my head,
Oh, you
I
might
feel
be
like
thinking from like
traffic.
Central Miami or North Miami or something like that. It might be that. But
Maybe I'm
like
thinking
from
about that.
FIU to
From
UM is like
FIU,
right there.
yeah, because FIU is more. Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. Yep.
they're right there.
Yeah.
Coral Gables.
Yep.
The first time they played this rivalry game was 1927.
Hmm.
And has been played every year. The game first played. Yep, and they haven't missed they were consecutively from 1946. They haven't missed a year
Wow.
since 1946.
Wow.
So it's like there's this big rivalry, you know what I mean? And for Xavier alum to freaking troll them this way. I
Hmm.
don't know how he found out about it. What was happening in Tennessee is between
Yeah.
that middle school in Cincinnati. He found out about it. So
Yeah,
like he slid
he
up in
probably just
there.
heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to him. So anything else happening in sports?
Yeah, just some quick hitters, man. Just shout out to my Gators, Florida Gators, man. We smacked the number 1 team, Tennessee.
Okay. Oh, yep. I think
The
I saw
Gators were
that.
ranked number 8. Tennessee's ranked number 1.
Mhm.
We smacked them. We beat them 73-43. So got them
Feels
boys up out of
bad.
there. Yeah, yeah, we got them boys
Bad.
up out of there. So,
What
but I'm
they
looking
rank
forward to
now?
the Gators. The Gators are ranked number 4 now.
Okay.
And I think Tennessee is like number 6 or 8 or something like that. But I think I think they're number 6. But yeah, I'm just happy. I'm just looking forward to seeing how well the Gators men's basketball team play how well they play this season, right? Because they're actually being talked about as a team that could make the Final Four.
Final
So
Four?
yeah.
Since preseason?
Yeah. They were like this Florida Gators basketball team looks like a Final Four team. So I was like, yeah, I'm on that. So I'm definitely gonna be watching that closely. Next thing, NFL. Y'all know what's going on with the playoffs. As a matter of fact, my team is playing right now. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're playing against Commanders. Dang,
But
I
you
didn't even
sacrificing it for the people though. You know
yeah,
what I mean? You're a man
I
of the
didn't even look
people.
at I didn't even look at the score, but I know last time I looked at the score we were up by like a field goal, but we'll see what's going on with them boys right now. But right now we have just some quick hitters there. The Texans beat the Chargers because this was the wild card round. Texans beat the Chargers 32-12. Ravens beat the Steelers 28-14. That boy Lamar Jackson doing his Dougie. The Bills smashed. They destroyed the Broncos 31-7. Got them boys up out of there. And yeah, it looked like let me see. Let me reload this page. It looks like the score is tied right now between my team, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Washington Redskins. It's 10-10.
Oh, that's right. That's our local area. That
Yeah.
Are they playing here in DC?
No. They're playing.
Really?
Actually, you know what? Actually, let me double check that.
That's so interesting that like we happen to be in that city.
Yeah. No, I think they're playing. It looks like they're probably
Commanders.
playing. I think they might be playing on the Tampa Bay.
Okay. All right.
They
Whatever.
might be, I think they play in the Tampa Bay. That's actually one of my bucket list goals is to go watch a division, go experience a divisional game at Tampa Bay, at that stadium, Raymond James Stadium. You know they have the big ship there with the
But
cannons.
but you've been there before though.
I've been to Tampa before, but I've never been to
You
the
have been
actual
to the
stadium
game?
before.
Yeah, I've been to a few
Yeah.
games there. But
Yeah, I haven't been to
okay.
a game there, so that's actually
Yeah.
one of my bucket list
We
things.
can
I'm
we
definitely
can
gonna
easily
try
make that happen. We're gonna
Oh, yeah.
put a pin there. We're gonna make
Oh,
that
yeah,
happen.
for
We can
sure.
make that happen. I got
For
people
sure.
over there anyways.
Oh yeah, that's true, 100%. So we definitely lock that in. So that's what's going on right now. I said CFB. The NFL playoffs is getting hot and heavy. So got a few teams that they got up out of there. A few teams that are still fighting. Moving on, NBA. So I want to say a couple of days ago, January 8th, we had the two best teams play against each other. We had OKC versus the Cavs. When I say this game was basically a preview of the NBA Finals, bro, this game was lit, super lit. Obviously all the stars did their thing. You know, of course, Shea, Jalen Williams, and OKC, they were doing their thing. But the Cavaliers pulled it out, man. Your boy Darius Garland doing his Dougie. Donovan Mitchell actually had a horrible game. He had a horrible game. But Darius Garland and your boy Jared Allen, the center, Jared Allen had a great game. And he was actually one of the main contributing factors of like them winning with the. I think he had I believe he had something close to a triple double. Can't remember exactly what the score was. Um, uh, I wanted to look at the box score. Oh, he had 25 points. Jerry Allen had 25 points. And Evan Mobley, young boy, he hooping too. That's another big that the Cavs got. He had 21 points that game. But yeah, they snapped the 15-game winning streak that OKC was on. But ultimately, man, them boys, man, they played very well. Both teams competed, but these are two of the best teams. OKC, the best team in the West, pretty much
That's
the
what you
best team
want
in
to
the
see.
West. Yeah, that's what you want to see.
Especially because
Cavs,
like
best
around
team in
right
the
now,
East.
like a lot of people just now starting to pay attention to the
Oh
NBA after
yeah,
Christmas and stuff like that. So
yeah.
we needed that. One of the things I wanted to real quick. So the Australian Open has started.
Ah,
They're in the first round right now.
yeah,
But just
sure,
wanted to
sure.
shout out Gail Monfils. Like this dude is 38 years old, and he actually just won his 13th ATP title, and he's the oldest man to ever do like an official, an ATP title to win one
Man,
at the age of
38,
38. So,
38 tennis,
he
man.
just did
That's
that, and now Australian
respect.
Open is on. So, like, we'll see how he does. I don't know if he's gonna go because he just won that the other day. So I don't know if he's gonna actually enter the Australian Open, but you know. Like we see him all the time, we just see him doing like these funky shots and these crazy shots and
Mm,
jumping all over the court
mm.
and stuff like that. And like it's almost like he's almost like a Harlem Globetrotter kind of thing, where it's like, yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
not
He's
he's
gonna.
not an actual player kind of thing. People
Mm,
might look at him like that, but like,
mm,
no, he's still like he was still had those efforts was just him being him,
mm, mm,
and he got this one, and he actually won in straight sets for this one. So
mm.
shout out to him. At 38 years old, I mean,
The boy
still
getting busy.
winning an actual official tour level event.
Yes,
So
sir.
shout out to him for that.
Shout out to him. Is the Aussie Open? That's played on clay?
No, that's hardcore.
That's hardcore. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's really That's really all I got for sports, man. Unless you had anything else to add outside of the Aussie Open there.
No, that's it. We can drop off that, and then on the other side, we're gonna get into our main topic. So like and subscribe, and we'll see you then. What up, fam? It's Darwin, the guy that was just talking. First off, thanks for watching and supporting the show. But I gotta give y'all some homework. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to interact with the show. That means 1, hitting that like button, because I know you like our stuff. 2, make sure you subscribe so we can swim our way up your timeline whenever we drop new content. The third thing, please share the channel with your friends. Maybe they'll learn a thing about a thing or two. Oh, last thing, we're over here talking about what y'all talking about. So go ahead and carry that conversation on into the comments. We be up in there too.
2024 has been an interesting year. Why am I saying that? In particular, when it comes to air travel, it's been one of those years that has been worse as far as plane crashes and things of that nature. Air travel is still relatively one of the safest forms of travel, but it has the highest chance of folks, you know,
When something go down,
not surviving, right? Yeah, it's the safest form, but at the same time, it's kind of like both sides of the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things because 2023 was actually one of the more safer years, right, of air travel, but 2024 is kind of wild. How many like accidents occurred, and fatal crashes have occurred. So
at least
um,
318 fatalities
yeah,
occurred due to plane crashes in
yeah, in
2024, making
2024,
it the
yeah,
deadliest year for air travel since 2018.
absolutely. So one of those planes being a Boeing plane. And you know how we, talk about Boeing in the past.
There could have been some Boeing planes. So there was that Boeing plane that was listed here. The other ones could have been Boeing too. I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
on
I'm not sure
December
about the other ones. Yeah,
29th, there was the Jeju Air Flight
yeah,
2216.
Jeju.
It crashed in South Korea.
Yep.
179 people died.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier last year in August, the regional flight in Brazil
Mm-hmm.
crashed and killed 62 people. There was another flight in Brazil um, also later in the year that killed 10 people. And on Christmas Day,
Mm.
this was a big one that made a lot of headlines, is this flight in Azerbaijan
Yeah.
that crashed, killing 39 people.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also, by the way, a near miss on December 30th of a plane and the Gonzaga basketball team plane.
Yeah.
We could have been missing a whole basketball team.
Whole basketball team.
Just like that, off of just like these freaking incidents. So that was a close call.
Mhm.
The incident was captured on video showing the private jet stopping just in time to avoid a collision.
Mm.
I actually want to focus for this segment, focus in on that Christmas Day flight, the Azerbaijan joint,
Mhm.
where the plane crashed after being struck by Russian air defense systems while trying to land in Chechnya. Russian President Vladimir Putin apologized to Azerbaijan's president over the crash, but did not directly acknowledge Russia's involvement,
Apologize.
stating the incident occurred while Russian defense systems were repelling Ukrainian drones. And whoops, it was just an incident that happened. The plane was forced to divert after being fired upon and crashed. It crash landed in Kazakhstan. It had been en route to Baku and Grozny when it was
Mhm.
hit by Russian air defense. So you have Russia, Azerbaijan, and um, Kazakhstani officials. They're all launching a joint investigation, with the Russians opening a criminal probe. The crash has drawn international attention, with some blaming Russia for the downing. I would say so. Like
I would think
he's
so.
not specifically saying that they did it, but like
Mhm.
what you apologizing for, then, my G?
Yeah. Yeah.
What you apologizing?
Mm.
In the aftermath, the Azerbaijan airline suspended flights to most Russian cities until the investigation concludes, highlighting the ongoing tension and uncertainty surrounding the incident. There's actually footage of this, Jeff,
Yeah.
of 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 the crash, and turns out some people walked away from that joint and survived.
Mm. Mm.
Footage shows survivors walking and being dragged away from the tail section of the crashed Azerbaijan airline plane. Um, I mean, the tail section might be underrated. We might want to reconsider the tail section of the plane. Like,
Mhm.
I know that be the cheap seats, and y'all don't want to sit back there,
Mm.
but first class ain't make it. Just saying. I'm just saying.
I mean, if we thinking about what collides
Uh,
into the ground first,
First,
eh,
it might be the nose of the plane.
it might just be that.
First class ain't make it. So
Yeah.
I low key shout out Luigi Mangione.
Let's not do that.
No, okay, no, maybe not. I don't know, but I'm just like
Yeah. Yeah.
but like you're thinking that like when privilege becomes a burden. I mean,
Mm.
it's wild that's what happened. Like, not that everybody in the tail section survived, but
Right.
29 of the 67 people on board survived,
Yeah.
and most of them came from the tail section of
Mhm.
that plane.
Yeah.
And all of it due to one man's beef trying to freaking annex Ukraine.
Yeah.
All that, and whoopsie, we was
Mhm.
knocking down drones and we hit your plane. Now, with all that being said, planes are still the safest way to travel. The
Mhm.
increase in aviation accidents has raised concern. Analysts have highlighted issues such as design and manufacturing flaws in aircraft, including Boeing's models,
Yes.
and the impact of climate change and turbulence. We talked
Yes.
about the increased turbulence, Jeff. Remember
Yeah.
we talked
Yeah.
about that,
There's definitely increase in turbulence for sure.
right?
Mhm.
Despite the rise in fatalities, flying remains statistically the safest form of transportation. The aviation industry continues to implement measures to enhance safety, including updating aircraft design and improving real time communication systems. By the way, Gonzaga is on the runway. Man, might want to pull up
Yeah.
or
There should be
something.
some
You know what I
communication
mean?
there.
The
Yep.
communications right there.
Mhm.
Could you name the top three safest ways to travel?
The top three safest ways to travel.
Yeah, without cheating.
Um.
'Cause I see you
Without you.
looking.
Well, yeah.
I
I'm
see
not
you
gonna.
looking, nigga.
No, I was actually trying to exit out of
I
the
see, look
webpage.
at you
Actually.
look. Yeah, I got you. Google quick, real
Okay.
quick.
All right. I already had the three in my head. I was gonna say, obviously, air travel. Um, I would say travel by train, and I would say sea travel.
And sea travel. Okay, it's interesting you say sea travel. Travel by boat is actually up there on the list. The answer is the second one. Might surprise you. Is plane number one, bus number two.
Bus. What? You ever been on a you ever been on a bus in New York? You ever been on a bus in Baltimore? A Negro, what?
This is why we don't prepare the show together, because that may hit you by surprise.
Emotional, damn it.
What?
That was genuine.
A bus. Go out of control. Y'all ain't, that tells you I never catch a bus before.
For
You
real,
never,
no, for
you never
real.
had a bus trip before.
The statistics, dog. The statistics. It's like, okay, so here, so
Absolutely
this is what we call fun with statistics, because the
This is crazy,
part of the
bro.
reason that airplanes are considered a safer way to travel than, let's say, cars is because you're in a car a lot more than you're on a plane. So you might
So
like,
the
let's say,
chances are higher.
so the chances for it to even occur that the crash would happen while you on that bit is very, very low. You probably get on a plane 2 times, maybe 4 times a year, right? You do that, and well, we know a lot of Americans ain't been on the plane. We talked about this one last time.
Oh
too.
yeah, that was
Right.
yeah.
So let's say you're on a plane 1 to 3 times a year. All right, for all the land dwellers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm gonna get my ass in there in front of that plane. I'm gonna die. I deserve it. For y'all simps out there who
Wow.
only fly once a year.
That's kind of crazy.
So, okay, but like, you're in a plane like less frequent. You're in a car like every day, so there's the chances that you give yourself to get into an accident or to have a fatal crash or something is a lot more. But yeah, a bus is actually, the way they design them. They have way more balance than regular cars. 'Cause cars are more for, you want to maneuver right around stuff, whereas the bus is built for just mostly stability and like a straight line. You know what I'm saying?
And there's more predictability with buses too, because they have routes, right?
Yeah, they have
routes
their
that
route. Yeah, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Even if you're taking like one of these like charter buses for like a football team or a basketball team, taking a charter bus, you know, just like you go that route and you're not like casually driving around, you know, like, oh, let me go to the grocery store now. Oh, you know what? Actually, the outlet is over here. Let me go to the outlet first and not go to the grocery store, you know, switching lanes or whatever, whatnot. No, you like, I'm going from point A to point B. You got your route set out, and the buses are not made to like, you're not, especially if you train how to drive the thing properly, you're not switching in and out of lanes. You're it's the buses are built for design for balance, is what I'm trying to say. They're not built for maneuverability. They're built for balance. So buses are very balanced. On top of that, they're big as hell. So if they do get into an accident, you know what I mean, with the Toyota Corolla or something like that, everybody on that bus is gonna be like, did I feel something? You know what I'm saying? So everybody on the bus is gonna be safe. The Corolla might be totaled and flipped in over 1,000 times. You know what I mean? So I could see how it made it, but it did. That is. It's planes, buses, and trains. Top 3 safest ways to travel. You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay, so I was 2 out of 3, but bus is crazy, bro. Yeah,
that's how you land the plane.
All right, man. Let's go. Oh my god, I saw the pun before he was gonna do it. That's what irritates me the most. So we just had a presidential election, and I think President Elon Musk just. Oh no, it was Trump, right?
Wait. Oh yeah, I think he won. Yeah.
Oh
Trump.
yeah. It was Trump that won.
You mispronounced Trump.
Yeah. I think I pretty much mispronounced it. What is going on with this guy Elon Musk? He's kind of. I mean, me personally, I'm kind of indifferent to Elon Musk. I think that what he's done as far as like just the movement of technological advances and like EV technology and Starlink and all that stuff, I think there's good in those things conceptually. But he himself, he's a weirdo. He's a weirdo. Who apparently seems to be really ramping up his pursuit of power. because he's like getting involved in all kinds of
Like out
politics.
loud.
Yeah, out loud. Like not only politics
These
in the United
billionaires
States,
used to
but
be in the
also in
background,
Europe too.
shadow
Yeah.
government kind of thing. This dude is like out front.
Yeah, he's been going kind of crazy a little bit with all of this. What's going on with him? What you got
I
going
want
on? With him?
I want us to title this segment, New South Africa. You know how you got New
Mm-hmm.
York, you
Mm-hmm.
have New Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
um, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
These are all like when they were acquired in homage to a previous state
Mm-hmm.
that you are representing in your current state.
Okay.
New England,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
This segment we're going to call New South Africa. Elon Musk contributed over 277 million to Donald Trump's reelection campaign, right? And other candidates,
Mm-hmm.
marking a substantial investment in the party's success. The incoming administration's cabinet features several billionaires, indicating a concentration of power among wealthy elites, which may influence economic and technological policies. Um, Elon Musk ain't from here. He's
He's
from
not
South Africa. South Africa,
correct.
and with him gaining the power that he is acquiring, but
Mm-hmm.
before he had money. That's one thing,
Yeah.
but power is what he's after now
Yeah.
by just straight up buying him one of the parties of the United States.
That is how he gets in the door. Is I was listening to this YouTube video. These two people kind of going back and forth about it. That's how he gets into this door. Like you know how people say you can raise like an iron fist. He
Mhm.
raises like a financial fist in a way. Like he levies a heavy financial arm to kind of force his way into the door. So something to think about.
CNN.com has this write up, and you can find this on any other website that any other like news outlet. But like this is generally what the take is
Mm,
that Trump. There's a video of Trump bristling at Musk rocketing profile as Democrats play on the president's elect's vanity. There was a video where Trump was like explicitly saying Elon Musk is not the president.
Yeah, I
He
saw
can't
that
be
video.
president because
Yeah,
he wasn't born here.
he's not born here.
Like
Yeah, I saw
you
that. Yeah.
know that joint is under his skin. He's feeling some type of way because
The fact that he's the fact that he
people
said
are
that,
like saying that yo,
mm,
who's running the country? Is it Trump or is it Elon?
And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people. You know, they're on a new kick. Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the different hoaxes. And the new one is President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, no, that's not happening.
This article goes on to say whether Elon Musk is the real president merely or the prime minister or just Donald Trump's multi-billionaire enforcer. He's carving out an unprecedented role that could raise conflicts of interest for new
absolutely,
administration. You think?
absolutely, because
It- it-
he has businesses in different countries for sure, especially even
Not just
countries.
that, but a lot of the government contracts he has with us.
Yeah, with us. Yeah, that's true.
We've getting
That's true.
not only, but on top of that, a lot of the research funding that we gave him for Tesla was
Government
from
funded.
U.S. investment
Mhm.
into companies that would invest in renewable energy and in the infrastructure and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of grants from us.
Mhm.
Okay. The dust is yet to is still settling following the Tesla and SpaceX pioneers' role
Mhm.
last week in the sabotaging a year in-house spending package, which was eventually replaced by a smaller stopgap law to keep the government open until March. We was on the verge of a shutdown. Elon Musk was part of that damn problem. Who's not even in government? Nobody voted for him,
Mhm.
but he was fanning the flames for a shutdown. Republican lawmakers on Sunday raced to praise and defend the ex-owner, perhaps not surprisingly, since the richest man in the world has threatened to finance primary challenges to members of Congress who defy Trump's orders. And what are Trump's orders? Elon's orders. That's what Trump's get the idea. Trump doesn't care. Trump just wants the freaking pageantry. We have a quote here. Thank God Elon Musk bought Twitter because that's the only way we'd even know what's in this bill. Tennessee Senator Bill Hagerty told CNN's Dana Bash on State of the Union. The comment might seem strange since lawmakers ought not to need a social media network to be able to read a bill before they vote, but Hagerty also revealed Musk hold on the GOP base when he said that, quote, every one of our offices was inundated with calls from our constituents after the billionaire's complaints that the bill was full of bloated spending. Lastly, Republican Representative Tony Gonzalez of Texas, meanwhile, described the incoming dynamic in Washington. We have a president, we have a vice president, we have a speaker, and it feels as if Elon Musk is our prime minister.
That's how you moving.
That boy is in the government. Talking about, we talked about last time, the Doge joint, the Department of Government Efficiency. All these billionaires used to be in the shadows before. We got one right now who ain't even from here. Okay, he's a citizen now, but he shouldn't even be a citizen. He violated his visa. He lied on his visa application.
Oh, yeah.
He can actually, because he did that, he can get his citizenship revoked. He should get it revoked. He said it out loud in an interview that he violated his visa.
But he got money, bitch. Is he a liability or asset at this point?
I guess that's the point, because that fool could really buddy up with China and be like, okay, well,
That's
y'all
true.
had problems with China before.
That's
y'all had
true.
problems with China before.
That's true. You keep your, what do they say? Keep my friends close, but keep your enemies closer.
Keep your enemies closer, kind of joy. Like, okay, whoa, don't go over there. No, okay, come back.
Yeah.
Real quick. Beyond financial contributions, beyond financial contributions, he's actively engaged in other countries, like just the way he was involved in ours.
In Europe. in Europe. Yeah, going crazy.
Influencing different parties over there.
Yeah.
And he's promoting this particular, like the right wing in some of these places. After Musk acquired Twitter in 2022, you may have noticed that a lot of like racial stuff and transphobic stuff and all kinds of hate speech and nationalist white supremacist content was being raised. And he goes over to Europe and he's promoting that same principle in those political parties that were like shunned. And now they're being propped up because they're reaching millions of people because he's retweeting all of them. He's reposting all of them.
Yeah.
He has been amplifying racist pseudoscience on his platform, sharing misleading content that promotes the idea of racial superiority, particularly through retweeting adherents of race science.
Elon seems to really like this account. They've gone by a few names on the platform, but they share extremely racist content that argues that Black people are innately intellectually inferior beings. We actually settled this debate generations ago, but Elon Musk is helping to bring it back.
Meet Louis Agassiz, a Swiss-born American biologist who believed that the races developed separately and were of different origins. In his view, Negroes were of the, quote, lowest grade of humanity.
Look, this is exactly what I had the thought that we should call this segment New South Africa. Race science has been a part of South African society in many ways. Apartheid comes to mind.
Yeah.
Hello.
Obviously.
The apartheid government used a flawed race science to justify it. Well, all race science is flawed, but they just mess with words right now. They're missing a sentence, a phrase there. Flawed race science to justify its separation of people based on race. Bruh, race is a social construct, but they got this race science up in this like as if it's like a biological field, like a determination. Thinkers like Phantom promoted the idea of white superiority, especially in education and mental capacity. Even after apartheid, health sciences have continued to use racial categories to explain health outcomes rather than considering social determinant factors of health. Research suggests that institutional and interpersonal racism contribute to racial differences in health. Yeah, that's what research shows. Research shows. But race science is what they say. Oh, the black people, they're this is why they feel like they could use whips on niggas because like, oh, their skin is tougher.
Yeah. That's so stupid.
So they're more like animals. So we can. So they don't burn. They don't get sunburned like we do. So they can be out in the sun all day like that. We still can get cancer.
Yeah.
You know. Nah. Okay. So physical anthropology. This discipline has a history of being misused to justify slavery and genocide. While researchers still occupy half of all university posts in South Africa. So my bad. White researchers in South Africa have 50% of the spots, when really the population of white people in South Africa is only 8%. So how
what?
it's only 8%. 8. But yet represented in academia, y'all are 50%. Y'all not 50% of the population. How did it organically come that way? Because the institutions are still chock full of racism.
Absolutely.
It's unclear how some papers made it through peer review, though some say it could be due to laziness or oversight for them to even be able to get
I would say
the
both.
research projects off the ground, for them to get the doctorates and all that kind of stuff. The country still struggles with racial tension and systemic divisions, even though apartheid apparently ended in 1991.
But the consciousness is still alive and well. We already know that's the case.
Live and well.
Yeah.
The white supremacy is live and well, and
Absolutely.
by judging by it's only 8% of them is white over there, it must be a lot of house niggas helping prop that stuff up.
100%. 100%. We already
And
know how it
Elon
goes.
Musk is promoting this stuff on Twitter. New South Africa. That's what we are. And in terms of a larger impact, this trend represents a broader issue where platforms like X become breeding grounds for extremist views, especially with figures like Musk, who is reshaping the landscape of online hate speech and racial misinformation. And now he's headed to the White House.
We like this segment of the show. This is pretty much, I was saying this before in our last pod. This is the heart of the show, right? We like to kind of share challenges that we typically would go through, or maybe like a unique situation or something like that could help us intake the game, that we can give you guys the game on if you have gone through the same thing or something unique like that. We just like to give the game out. But yeah, this is the heart of the show, man. So this is definitely a time where we want to be able to kind of like relate with y'all. You feel me, on a human level. So, bro, you wanna go ahead and start off with a challenge that you've probably been experiencing?
I'll kick us off with a question. When was the last time you locked yourself out your house?
Wow, it's been a very long time, actually. I don't even remember, to be honest. Yeah, I don't remember. I think there was a time where I didn't really lock myself, because I have smart locks and stuff like that. So I can
About
still
that.
yeah, I can still get into it because I have my phone on me. Right?
About that.
So
So
I don't recall that though. I don't recall the last time. That's all I meant to say.
So my challenge is a lesson on procrastination. You say you have a smart lock, don't you? That's nice. Does that smart lock happen to take batteries?
Yes.
Okay. So remember I said how this was a story about procrastination?
Yeah. I'm very good about batteries when it comes to smart locks. I'm already hip. I already know where you're going.
Bruh.
I don't play no games with batteries and smart locks.
Bruh. The thing is, I don't travel with my freaking key. I don't never take no keys out the house.
I still travel with everything. I still travel with everything.
Well,
That's
I'm gonna
crazy.
move different now.
Yeah, please.
So I'm
That's
gonna
crazy.
switch it in and say I'm moving different, right?
That's crazy.
How do we get there? This is like before that. How I got here.
Yeah.
Dude. So we had this crazy freaking snowstorm
Yeah.
in DC recently. We haven't had
Yep.
a storm like this in
It's been a minute.
like 5-6 years.
Yeah. It's been a few years. Yeah.
10 inches.
Yeah, that joint was serious.
10 inches, bro.
Yeah.
Like really, like you have to like really put it like, and I actually have to buy a pair of boots because like the snow boots that I have is for like typical DC snow snow season. You may get 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah.
10 inches.
10 inches is crazy.
You take a step in that joint, you sinking.
Yeah. Yeah, you need some Gore-Tex.
And you need some tall joints
Some
up to
tall
the calf,
joints up to yeah, for
right?
sure. Yeah.
I came through to the. I came home several nights ago, and I hit the button so I could like do the smart lock joint. And there's a little indicator that tells you battery low. Right? Okay, boom, battery low. You know what time it is. You know, I got a bunch of spare batteries. I have like a whole drawer set up for that joint.
Yeah.
I'll get around to it. So I got time. It's just it only just now blinked for the first time. It gave me the warning. I got time. I'll chill on it. I'll come back to this. A day or two goes by, you know, in and out the house, no problems. Totally forget. The indicator's there, but I'm like, I'll get around to it. And then we had that crazy freaking snow. Like I really don't have to. By the way, I trained Coco to go in the backyard by herself now. So like she
Very
can
nice.
go. I don't gotta be out there. I could just watch in the window and she and go. And then like when she goes, then I'll go out there, pick it up and come back inside. I only gotta put a coat on because I'm in and out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see her do her business. I through the window and then I could just like boom. So I don't really gotta walk her, which is a whole nother thing now. Like, but like those walks were kind of therapeutic for me. So like, and I don't get to do them, but you know, it's freaking winter. It's cold out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it's cold.
I could keep that for the good season
I
where I can
still
still
have-
get that in.
I still have to walk Danny, so I was just like, I just got to thug it out.
You gotta throw that bit out.
Yeah, I had to thug it out. Yeah.
So I don't really gotta go out there, but like the freaking tennis is happening, then like all my stuff in the is covered in snow outside, and like I know I have packages coming in from Amazon or like I don't have a car, so I get food delivery and all that stuff, and all of my groceries get delivered. If I need to go anywhere, I just take an Uber. But like I need to get in and out. I need the delivery people to get in and out safely, and I got like I got one of these. I got like an extra step. Like that could get covered in the snow. 10 inches? If it was 2 inches, okay. But like,
dang, I know what step you talking about too. Oh
Bruh.
man, that's bad, bro.
that's a lawsuit that I do not need right
That's bad. Yeah, that step
know what
is
I'm saying?
sneaky. That joint is
now.
sneaky.
So I got
forgot
that
about that.
10. If it was like 1 or 2 inches or something, like you
Yeah.
can, there's a step there. But a
Yeah.
whole 10 inches, that's the step. The step is 10 inches. So
Yeah.
you think you just walking, bro? The whole ankle gone. Forget about it. Right? So I'm like, okay, boom. Let me go out here, and I don't even gotta go nowhere just because these freaking deliveries, man. We're in this goddamn freaking paradigm of these things. But so I'm like, all right, let me go do this snow thing, and I see the neighbors are out doing their snow thing. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let me. You know what? Everybody's outside anyways, shoveling the snow. So let me go take this opportunity to shovel the snow. This middle of the day. So boom, I shovel the snow, and I'm good, and I got my headphones on, I'm listening to some music, whatever I'm doing it. It's not a lot for me because I'm just like. Some of them are doing the most. They're doing like the whole sidewalk for the whole community. Kind of like, no, we pay HOA for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do my walkway. I go back to the door and I have the auto timer on that joint where it shuts it off. Right, the door locks in case I forget to lock it.
See, I don't do that, man. I ain't gonna lie. I set it up for like just all notifications. Like it's like ingrained in my mind that like I always double check everything. That's crazy. See,
Because here's the thing. But here's the thing is like sometimes like.
But that's what drains the battery faster when you have that auto lock thing on. I read that in the manual. I was like, oh, because I thought about putting that feature on, right? And I was like, no, I don't think I like that. I was like, I don't think I like that. I think I'm gonna like
I don't
just
think I
make
like it
sure.
anymore. I didn't realize. I don't know. I think
Yeah.
I might have read it and like totally. I mean, it's been years now. So I've
It-
had
it-
it, but like.
It literally cuts your battery life in half.
The only thing I read about it was like you could do it for like 5 minutes to like 6 minutes and then to like 10 minutes or something like that, or 15 minutes. It was some weird increments.
Yeah.
It might be like I think it was like 3 minutes, 6 minutes, and 10 minutes. Right. And sometimes I never forget. I don't think I've ever forgotten to lock the door myself, but like in case I do. Or look, I have a dog sitter, you know what I mean? In case they forgot to lock the door. You know what I mean? So but it really actually where I live, you don't even really have to lock any doors.
Yeah, you really, yeah. Loki, where you live at, yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I grew up locking doors.
Now,
You know what I'm saying?
I live at though.
I grew up locking doors. So
Yeah,
I'm not trying to change that habit. So I put the timer on that damn thing. But even though I still lock my doors, but anyways, I mean, I try to go back inside the house. I did my thing. I'm good. And then like that battery was only powerful enough to tell me that the battery is low.
Yeah.
It's not enough battery for you.
Not enough to help it roll out.
Actuate the lock or anything like that. It's only enough to let you know that this battery is so low right now that this is all we could do.
Literally.
And I was stuck. I was out in that piece, bro. I was like, I tried it a bunch of different times. I'm like, but you're beeping. I hear the beeping. But like, we're trying to tell you we're beeping because this is all we have left is the beep with the thing. Oh, I was like, no. I was like, this is not just happening. I'm out here. It's freaking cold as shit. Right? Okay, so I'm like, with my freaking 5-inch boots on, gotta walk through 10 inches of snow now to try to break into my house in the backyard.
Yeah.
That's another adventure. That's a whole nother challenge. I jump up on the freaking thing and I try to, and like I'm up top of this gate, this tall ass gate now. And I'm thinking to myself, like,
bro, you wild.
Life decisions.
You are wild.
I'm like, yo, when I was a jit, I backflipped off a roof. And now I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, bro, this feels like cliff diving.
Yeah. Facts.
It feels like I'm like, my knees gotta take that impact.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about roller coasters. It's a whole different experience now as an adult.
Bruh, I'm like,
I'm
looking at that joint. I was sitting up there just like recalibrating my whole life, dog. Just like, should I move? Maybe I should move to all new houses. Like, or should I give up the smart lock? Just like, I was sitting there just thinking, dog, about that landing. And mind you, it's 10 inches of snow, so I really can't see the true
you really
ground.
you really don't know how. Yeah, bro, I don't know about that one.
So a nigga like me had to let go and let God on that one, right?
Okay. All right. Okay.
I just like, right. I just heard click all my knees, just all the crunches and all the knees and everything, just like it was like, and like I stumbled forward and I caught myself on the beam of the thing, and so like, but I was going down, and that joint hurt, right? And I thought I was gonna break everything. It just felt terrible. Only to find out that because of the cold weather, something it fucked up the lock in the backyard. I have a smart lock in the backyard also, which I have the code for. It's a different mechanism, and battery is fully charged on that one. And I don't have the latch on because like I took Coco out to go out there this morning. So it's just locked, no latch. I'm trying to break into my house here. Like I can't break into my joint. That the freaking cold froze the joint so it doesn't fucking do the thing. So I did this whole jump freaking daredevil act for no reason. Now I have to go from the backyard back to the front in 10 inches of snow again with these short boots. And I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I need to call a locksmith. So I go to, I'm like, okay, it's freaking cold out here. I can't just sit out here and call a locksmith. Let me go to my neighbor's house because everybody was out there shoveling snow. So I go to my neighbor's house. You know, he lets me get inside and chill for a little bit. His wife gets me some coffee. I was freaking freezing, doing all this adventure, trying to get inside my house. And the locksmith comes. So this is why I asked you, when's the last time you got yourself out your house? Because you happen to not change a freaking battery. It's going to cost you $225.
$225, babe.
To get you back into your house. Oh, and by the way, so here's where we putting you on game. If you have a smart lock, they can't just jimmy that joint like they used to with the regular locks. They have to drill that bit. Lock busted. How much did that lock cost? Smart lock, over $100.
Yep. Absolutely.
So it's not just 225. Let's say it's 325.
Mm-hmm.
Finally get inside the house. This dude drills the damn door. Freaking, I have to buy a new one.
Yeah.
I bought a new one and then have to install it. I have to install and like that was a whole process. That was a whole freaking thing. But you know what? I was just like,
Did you buy a better version?
about the same one.
Same
It's just
one?
me
Okay.
not changing the battery.
Yeah.
The thing worked like it was supposed to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me not changing the battery, me having the freaking auto lock on apparently because it eats the battery up.
Yeah.
Um,
It does.
I have to eat that humble pie. That's on me.
Yeah.
That's on me. I did not. It gave me an indicator. Said, "Don't." It's like, Joe, you have something to do here. Just do it. Just make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I procrastinated.
Mm-hmm.
I procrastinated, and it put me in that whole spot where I almost took my knee out and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was miserable for that time.
So it actually could have been a lot worse, actually.
It could have been a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
I could have been freaking knee repair right now.
Yeah.
All because I procrastinated and didn't change that freaking lock. So I appreciate my neighbors for looking out for me then. I bought them a thank you gift, and I've been kind of like looking through windows, see, because they got two cars. I'm like, damn it, both the cars ain't never at the same time. You know, so I could just go there.
Yeah, to give
it's
both of them could be there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I give it to both of them for looking out. But you know, today I saw one car there, so I just put it in. They weren't home, but I put it on their doorstep. But all of that, you know, I have to own it. I have to own it.
Yeah.
That was on me for procrastinating.
Yeah.
So don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. That's my challenge.
Absolutely. And that rings true. For me, my challenge is rehab.
And that's why you're gonna do rehab now and not
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. This
Don't
is
put it
why
off.
you address. You know what's
actually, just segue. I have friends who like put off surgeries and things like that when they should have much younger age, and then like they now they're doing these surgeries that are taking them out a lot longer out of commission a lot longer because they didn't have it when they were younger.
100%. That's kind of similar to my situation where injuries that I've suffered when I was younger playing sports probably should have got it looked at. Now there's a whole another layer with that.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know if that's procrastination.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, because
you would if you could.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, because we didn't have insurance, and it was a bunch of different things that kind of like revolved around that stuff.
Shout out to Boykin.
But yeah, so it was just so there was definitely some other extenuating circumstances that we didn't really have control over. But yeah, rehab, man. As you guys know, I mentioned that I actually had a complete tear of my Achilles tendon playing soccer. This happened 9 weeks ago. More of like 10.5 weeks ago, because the actual event happened in late October, and then I had the surgery like a week and a half from that day. So this is like week 9 post surgery. And I am at.
Are you on par with the progress that you should be making at this stage?
Yes, actually. So I am right on schedule. I am at the point where I'm working out of the walking boot, so I should not be walking in the walking boot unless like absolutely necessary, right? As a matter of fact, your walking boot can actually be a detriment to your progression when it comes to the healing and the recovery at a point, because the walking boot serves the purpose of like give you the protection and stability for a period of time, but if you continue to rely on it, then you're kind of like putting yourself in a you kind of like putting a pause on your recovery because of all the scar tissue that builds up, the stiffness, flexibility, you lose strength to your calf and all that jazz. So you gotta like you have to force this. You have to put load on it. That's basically what has to happen. You have to put load on it. You have to work out the scar tissue based on like whatever exercises and everything that you're doing in the rehab. Rehab in itself is tough. That joint is tough. It hurts quite a bit. The scar, and it's really because of the scar tissue. It's a scar tissue in combination with the loss of strength, right, in that calf. Basically, when I'm walking, it hurts pretty much all the time because of the scar tissue.
But you're driving regularly,
But I am driving regularly now because I have the strength to be able to I have the strength not only to like press the gas pedal and the brake, but I have the strength to react, because that's part of it too, right? Like actually, if you have to react to like somebody doing something stupid, right? Like that takes like
And you don't feel like a sharp pain. Or
yeah,
something
it doesn't.
Like
Yeah,
that?
it's not like a sharp pain or anything like because it's kind of like what we call like in sports, what we call like having like being twitchy, being able to just react like that. Like that's part of the strength too. Like you have to be able to like quickly respond to certain things that happen. That's part of your recovery too. Like how well does that feel mentally and like physically at the same time?
Like
Like
executing it.
Are you yeah, how well that's the word. How well are you executing that the twitchiness? And I've been able to test that out a few times, definitely driving to Maryland because people is yeah. So so I've been able to test that out and like it feels like how I normally drive every day. Like that's like I mean there's obviously stiffness there, right? There's a lot of stiffness there. There's a lot of scar tissue there because that's just a process for like the next several months, working all that out. And the swelling is something that's going to continue to happen for the next several months as well. That's something you just have to kind of work through for a while. But yeah, that joint is it's not easy, man. Because you know, I think
How
I mentioned
much
this before.
longer? What's your total like time that you're supposed to be doing
A
it?
year. Like to get back to soccer specifically, a year.
You're gonna
like-
rehab for a year?
Rehab should be so the rehab period it should be like 8 weeks. Well, okay, so let me kind of preface this with this. So the rehab it should be 16 sessions, at least 16 sessions, right? And if it was the way that it was written out as far as the program, it should have been 2 weeks for 2 sessions for 8 weeks. But because of my recovery and how things are going, I don't necessarily have to do that. That was kind of the idea, but at least get like, you know, as many sessions as you can. And because I'm progressing the way that I am, I can actually spread out those sessions, right? It doesn't have to be 2 weeks. It can be once every 2 weeks. But you want to kind of get like as much as you can to get to a point where like obviously you're feeling very comfortable and you can like do some explosive work and all that stuff. So the barometer is and that would be the barometer, right? It's like obviously the strength in the calf, being able to do like single calf leg raises, which there's people who have had the same kind of injury and wasn't able to do single calf leg raises for like 6 to 9 months. It's kind of crazy. Like it's kind of crazy. So but it's just a part of the process. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of the process. But to be like to feel normal, it'll be like around a 6 month part time frame. But it's not recommended to do like things like jogging, lifting, and all that stuff until about like maybe 9 months and beyond. But you should have you get to a point where like you get to like 85-90% of the way and like it just stops there. You're like sitting on that 90% for like 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like every other month it incrementally go up to like 91%, 92%. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of weird how that goes. But basically the challenge is this, man. Stay the course. Stay the course. Like this example that I'm describing is my recovery, right, from a complete tear of an Achilles tendon. But that can be akin to whatever grind that you find.
Like the only way is through.
You know what I'm saying? Like the only way is through. Yeah, like the only way is through. Like
is through.
If you're having an issue in if you're having an issue in your relationship, like put your best foot forward. And the only way is through. You got to face those things. If you're facing anxiety at your job, like you got to face those things and push through. Like you gotta face those things.
Some of these things you can't go around.
Yeah. Some things like it's things you're gonna experience in life where you just can't like Darwin said, you can't go around it, can't go under, you can't go above it. Like you gotta get through. You gotta push through. And some things you gotta stay the course. You gotta stay course. If you're trying to lose weight, stay the course.
Yeah, I know it's January. A lot of them.
You feel me?
Hopefully catch this message real quick.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Message.
you feel me? And you might find yourself where you get to a point where you're like 90% there, but you're not seeing the same gains. Like you saw all them gains within that first, second, or third month. You saw all them gains, and then it just stops at a point where you're like, man, why am I not seeing the same kind of gains? And because your body has gotten to a place physically, mentally, emotionally, you've gotten to a place where like
it takes something else for that last 5%.
Exactly.
That last, yeah.
And usually that last 5% is really what makes all the difference, right? To really get you back to 100%. So that's my challenge, man. Stay the course, man. Whatever you might be going through, just stay the course and keep your eye on the prize. Because the best mindset to have is to have the right perspective. When you have the right perspective, it kind of like
your future self will thank you for going through that.
Absolutely.
Like, thank goodness he went through all that, so I don't have to be suffering from this lingering thing here in the future.
Yeah, you feel me? So that, and yeah, straight up. So just keep your eye on the prize, man. And keep your head up. That was my challenge. You know, just keep pushing through, man. Stay the course. Do what you got to do. Keep your head on. Keep your head on straight. And there's light at the end of the tunnel. So just push through, y'all. So, yeah, that's a show, man. That's a show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment,
That's
subscribe, man.
Mission
Gave you guys a
accomplished.
lot of game. Yeah, mission accomplished, man. We gave you guys a lot
Smash
of
that
game.
like button.
For sure. I also wanted to mention that, again, you know, Jeff Not Jeffrey, Darren Darko, our show at Another Challenge Day. That is our social media handle. Again, every social media platform you like to frequent, check us out, give us a holler, make, you know, comment, you know, we talk back. You know what I'm saying? We'd like to definitely hear from you guys and gals, right? So check us out, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. With that being said, be safe, y'all.
One love you. Shinzo Dippo.
It's challenge day.